I'm about to say something that might hurt your feelings, okay? You right now have absolutely no chance of hitting whatever goal, maybe 10K per month, 30K per month, whatever your goal is right now, you have no chance of doing it. If you right now were the person that could do it, you would have already done it, okay? So you need to evolve and become he who can. And you need to actually focus on becoming that type of person who can hit 10K per month. And then as a byproduct of that personal growth, you actually hit 10K per month, okay? So there are 6 things that you should start doing today if you actually want to evolve into that person and become he who can, okay? Not gonna waste any more of your time, let's get straight into it. The first and arguably the most important thing that you need to do is absolutely obliterate resistance. Resistance is basically a force of your current self. So you have your current self and your future desired self. To become this person, you have to kill the current self. And the current self, evolutionarily, has a survival bias. So obviously, your current self doesn't want to die. And so, while in becoming this, going from current to the dream desired self, you have to kill yourself, right? And so, your current self is going to kick and fight and scream and do anything it can to not die. And the way it does that is in the form of resistance. So resistance can manifest in tons of different ways. Maybe it's the comfort of your bed. One day you wake up and your bed feels 10 times comfier. Or maybe it's instant gratification, like you wanting to scroll on Instagram, right? It could be like fear of judgment, anxiety, scared of doing the cold calls. There's like 100 different ways resistance can manifest. Of all those 100 different ways, there's only one way that you can defeat all of them. Yeah? And that is the second thing, which is needle moving work. Okay? So number 1 is understand resistance, and number 2 is beat it with needle moving work. The only way you can beat resistance is with the needle moving work. Okay? So needle moving work means work that actually matters. So stuff like building a website or changing a logo doesn't matter, and it's not going to get you anywhere closer to where you need to be. But important work like cold calling, taking sales calls, doing service delivery, posting content, that type of work is actually needle moving, and it will get you closer to that dream goal, like 10K per month. So doing that work is the only way that you can kill this resistance. Okay? Number 3 is being rational. Okay, so 99% of the time when making decisions in your life, you've been irrational. Okay, you've used your emotions, you've used the ego, you've had false judgments, false experiences, lack of information, lack of skills. Right? There's so many things that you're doing right now that are causing you to be irrational. You need to completely get rid of them and remove irrationality, and then apply mental models. Okay? So a perfect example of a mental model is second order consequences. So I'll put up a picture of right now what I mean, like thinking about first, second, third, fourth, and fifth order consequences to a decision that you make. Okay? That plus a wide variety of other mental models, while not being irrational, is how you actually be irrational. We have to use something called inversion. Okay? So the way to be rational is to think about how to be irrational. So how can I be irrational? Write it down. Maybe it's like using your emotions, using your ego, like having a bunch of fears of judgment, like giving into resistance, right? These are all ways you can be rational. And the way to be rational is just to not do those things. Number 4 is using biology and science. So a perfect example is inversion. The reason that inversion works is because humans, like evolutionarily, are a lot better at finding problems than they are finding solutions, because it's much more important to find big problems. Like for example, finding a problem that like a tiger can come into your cave is much more important than finding the solution to like a math problem, right? If you can understand biology and science, specifically stuff like evolutionary psychology and specifically evolution in general, if you can use evolution by natural selection in your processes and in your systems, then that's going to help you so much. Okay? Like for example, the scientific method. Like we have an 18-step scientific method. So when I build a system, I can test it scientifically, and through that testing, I can find exactly what the bottlenecks for my system are, and then I can iterate it and I can test again, right? And over hundreds of thousands of iterations, I can come up with like the most amazing cold calling system, or the most amazing service delivery system, or sales system, right? Actually having a good understanding of biology, and very specifically the scientific method, and applying it in your agency is going to help you way more than any fancy script, okay? I guess as a bonus point, 4.5, focus on first principles, okay? So stuff like rationality, psychology, evolution, systems, economic theory, game theory. Actually like base grounded like fundamentals and first principles is what you need. You don't need shiny scripts, you don't need shiny copy, you need actual understandings. So understanding paradigm, beliefs, as I said, biology, evolution, stuff like that is what you actually need. Because fundamentals like biology and systems, they're not going to go away. But the new shiny script is going to fatigue within like 6 months because everybody's going to start using it, right? Perfect example, Thomas Kneff's cold calling script. How many people do you think use that script word for word? I know that I did when I was just starting out, okay? These specific really shiny pieces of copy do not matter. What matters is your understandings and the first principles, right? So the next thing, number 5, is beliefs. You need to have beliefs that are in alignment with reality and beliefs that actually help you, okay? So if you believe sales calls are hard, then sales calls are going to be hard for you. But if you believe sales schools are easy, sales schools are going to be easy for you, right? And so this is the perfect example of becoming he who can. He who can make 10K per month, see sales schools as easy, fun, and enjoyable. But you right now maybe see sales schools as hard and scary. Okay? So you need to reframe your paradigm and reframe your beliefs around it. The simplest way that I can put it to reframe your beliefs is to have more positive experiences around it. So you can do that through stuff like affirmations, or you can do that through real world experiences. So having sales schools, when you go into it with the frame of this is going to be easy, I'm just going to have a conversation. If they're a good fit, I'm going to try and close them, right? That's all it is. And like seeing it like that, going to the sales school, not being nervous and having a really good sales school, and maybe even closing someone is the best way. You can basically immediately completely shift your beliefs from like positive to negative. Best way, you can completely shift your beliefs from like super heavy on the negative side to super heavy on the positive side. Right? And number 6 is sacrifice. Right? There's a quote: either you sacrifice for your goals, or your goals become your sacrifice. You need to sacrifice from it. So maybe like for me, that was like kind of getting rid of my old friend group and dropping out of school. Like, there are big sacrifices that you need to take in order to actually make it work for your agency. Okay? Maybe that means like giving up some bad habits, not going out as much. They are worthy and necessary sacrifices. So imagine you in 20 years. Would you 20 years rather that you become successful with an agency, or that you start going out drinking again? Obviously, you in 20 years is more rational than you right now, so they can see things more clearly. Okay? So when you're kind of deciding what to do, ask yourself, what would 85-year-old me do? What would someone getting paid 10K per month to consult me do if I was to ask them what should I do? Ask yourself that and apply these mental models, remember back to the rationality, to actually make the right decisions. And I'm going to give you a bonus one. Number 7 is you don't have all the knowledge, okay? When I was starting out, I watched like a few cold calling videos, I watched on YouTube, and I thought I knew everything there was about the agency space. I can tell you now, I still don't know, okay? And I'll probably never know. There's so much stuff that you need to learn. Like, there's some stuff that I could show you right now that is going to completely blow your mind. You need to always be learning, and you need to be a lifelong student, okay? So visualize right now, you 90 years old, still reading. Like, I want you, when you're 90, to like still be reading and still learning new things, okay? Your expertise is only going to grow exponentially. And like, once you think it's stopped, then it's stopped. But if you think there's still more to learn, there's still more to learn, right? It's just, once again, it's just a belief thing, okay? There's always going to be more for you to learn. Okay, so I'm going to give you a quick recap. So, first thing is resistance, and you fight the resistance with needle moving action, right? And then you need to be rational, and then you need to use like biology and science, and then 4.5, you need to use like first principles in general, rationality, psychology, biology, science, systems, stuff like that. That's number 4 and 4.5. And then number 5 is beliefs, right? Beliefs are everything, and that's beliefs, and changing your beliefs is the core main way you're actually going to become he who can, okay? And number 6 is sacrifice, right? Sacrifice for your goals, or your goals become sacrifice. And number 7, the bonus is always be a lifelong student, right? Never stop learning, okay? So I hope that's helped you. Please do all the YouTube stuff, like, comment, subscribe, comment what videos you want me to make, and I'll make them, okay? I'll see you in the next one. Bye-bye.